Hello and welcome back to Microsoft's Flight Simulator with part 2 of my review of the Just Flight BAE Hawk Mark 1 T1A Trainer, Advanced Trainer. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and I do apologise for this video being a little bit delayed by about a week or so, but things have just been really busy and really hectic, and I've been unable to get some time to actually sit down and continue doing the review for this. So there was a part 1. If you have not seen part 1, which was a couple of weeks ago, make sure you do go check that out. In part 1 I went over the specs that are needed to run this aircraft, the price of the aircraft, the features that you get with the package, so what type of aircraft you get, what kind of liveries you get, that sort of thing. I took a look at the model, the textures, all of those sorts of things, and then inside I took a full look at the cockpit and I did an entire cockpit tour, figuring out where every single lever, every single button, every single switch, every single knob is, making sure that I knew where everything was, and of course the instruments, so that I am prepared for this video. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a startup of this aircraft. We're going to taxi, we're going to take off, and then we're going to give it a bit of a flight. I'm not going to push it to its absolute limits, but we might do a little bit of pushing on the flight. It depends. And then we're going to bring it in for a landing. Hopefully I can do the landing on this. I have not yet landed this aircraft. I have taken it off, I have flown it a little bit, and it is absolutely superb. I have not started it. I just did a one of the presets to have it started, and I have not landed it, so this is going to be rather interesting. So make sure you stay tuned to get my views on this and to see just how realistic this is and whether it is quite easy to start or quite difficult. Now, I think personally, having started the one in X-Plane, this should be fairly easy to start up. I'm not expecting too many difficulties. To be honest, if I can start up a 737, I should be able to handle this without too much of a problem. However, there is only one way to find out, so let's roll the intro and let's get started. Okay, here we are in the aircraft. First thing is first, I'm going to close the canopy. I'm going to move this down here so I do not really need it. And also, annoyingly, the latest Flight Simulator updates has meant that every time I press in the middle click, it moves everything back, which is really, really annoying. I thought they had this fixed where I could do this and then click and it wouldn't move out, but that's fine. We shall have to just deal with that. There is a checklist over here, and we are going to be using the checklist. Obviously, we're not going to be looking through all the Tac Cam channels at this point in time. Oh, there's plenty of Tac Cam channels. That's really useful. That is really useful to have those Tac Cam channels there. Well done, Just Flight, for putting that in the checklist. Right, let's go. Front cockpit, landing gear selector, down and checked. Oh dear. Ooh, does that highlight it? No, it doesn't. There we go. Battery switches, both of them down there, off. I need to tick. Tick, tick. MCP coolant. What? I have no idea what that one is. I've not actually come across that one before. Well, okay, off. WCP, all off. Yeah, we're not using weapons, so none of this matters for weapons. Oxygen selector on, contents checked. On contents checked, we have a full tank of oxygen. Perfect. Rear cockpit. Okay, I suppose we better go back. How do I do that again? Where is it? Control, rear. There we go. Oh, that's terrible. There is a mess up because look, if I, and I'll show you this. After I've done this, I'm going to middle click and watch what happens. Thank you, Microsoft, for ruining that. Engine start switch can go to on. Oh dear. There we go. On. Yes, go on. well. Great. Okay. Tailplane standby trim is down. Anti-skid switch is on. Standby UHF switch is on main. Yep, that's main. Landing gear selector is down. Landing gear transfer button is pushed in. Well, that won't push in. Great. Okay. Something's broken in Flight Simulator, that's for sure. Flap selector is pupil. That's up, that's pupil. The rest of this is fine. Lighting switches are off. Oxygen is on. Well, we do not have a rear cockpit, but fine. That's on and that's selected. We do not have anybody at the rear. So now watch this. There you go. I just pressed the middle click and look what happened. Yep, they've definitely messed that up. And this is... I've never seen such lag. What is going on? Thank you, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right, next one. Rudder pedals lock off. Battery switches on. Yes. Navigation... Yeah, okay, I'm going to switch that off. Navigation lights on. There we go. CCS amplifier switches are in normal. CCS amplifier switch. Oh. This is going to get really annoying, by the way. CCS amplifier switch. Which one is that? I don't actually know what that one is. Okay, that's fine. Parking brake is... Oh, that was off. That's on. Chocks have been removed. All of that's... Yep, that's all good. CCS amplifier switch. Would that not be on this side? Where would the amplifier switch be? Will you stop that, please? This is our CCS. So... Okay, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. Internal checks. Front cockpit. Sure. Low pressure fuel cock lever on. That's on, I believe. Engine start switch is off. Oh, this is just going to be really annoying. Yeah, this is getting silly. Fuel pump switch on. Piezo heat switch off. Tailplane standby trim cover down. Ignition switch over, which is up here, is on normal. Throttle HP off. Anti-skid switch is off. Standby UHF is on main. Brake pressure. Check gauges. Check pressures. There's nothing there. We're not going to have any pressure in the brakes yet. Hydraulic systems are not on. Left instrument panel. Let's have a look here. UC standby handle not pulled. Flap standby handle not pulled. Landing gear 3 greens. Voltmeter 23 or greater. Yes, we do have 23 or greater. Flap selector up. Up. Yep, that's up. Where are we? UHF radio on. Yet, so we'll switch that on. But we're not going to use it right now. We probably will not be using those. All of these are fine because we do not have weapons. Smoke control is off. DJI flap retracted. It's retracted. That's the DJI. That's a HSI. 10 slip indicator flag retracted. Flap flag. Yes. Accelerometer reset. Main attitude indicator flag showing. Yes. HSI flag showing. Yes. AHRS control. Right. We do not need. Oh no, that one needs to be in slave. ISIS control unit is off. ILS marker test. We'll switch that to test. Yep, that's fine. That seems to be working fine. UHF power switch is normal, which is that's one there. Standby instrument switch is also normal. Great. Right instrument panel. Oxygen caption. There we go. Out. I think that's that. Oxygen contents over half. Confirmed. Oxygen confirmed. Flow check. Fuel. Actually, that's that one. Oxygen is that caption on the main panel. There we go. Fuel gauge. Check contents. Yep, we that will do. We're not going far today, so that will be fine. Rotation indicator confirmed black. Yes. GTS indicator confirmed black. Confirmed. CWP test. All working. Okay. Lighting switches as required. Zip it, you. Lighting switches as required. Well, let's switch on some lighting. There we go. Let's have some lighting today. We'll do compass lights, anti-collision lights. Well, we are going to be starting the engine momentarily, so I guess those can both go to red and red. There we go. Perfect. Right. CCS PTT in normal. Confirmed. Where are these amplifiers? I want to know where these amplifiers are. No idea. VHF on. There we go. TR plus G, fine. IFF SSR in standby. There we go. That's in standby now. Tac Cam TX, RX, X or Y as required. Let's do that. Leave it in Y. We will figure that out. ILS on as required. We're going to have that in VOR mode for now because we're going to be dialing up some VORs. So that's fine. Cabin conditioning normal. Cabin airflow. Air temp switch is on automatic. Canopy is closed, which we've already done. Engine start. Right, let's make sure we've got a full check through this. There we go. So we know exactly what we're going to be doing. Engine start switches on. That's to on. Anti-collision lights are on red. Relights button. Press and release. Right, this is where a lot of things have to happen at once. So we're going to press and release that relight button there. We're going to wait for that to go green. Then we're going to hit the engine start switch to start and then release. We're going to confirm that that goes green over there, the rotation indicator. As soon as we see about 15 to 20% there, we're going to bring the throttles up to idle. Okay. And then during start, yeah, we'll watch for all of these. Right. So here we go. Might as well give it a go. So that's in. Rotation was green. Come on. GTS, I need the GTS to go green. If I've done this correct, that should go green. Any moment now. There it is, confirmed green, engine start. I'd actually like to take a quick screenshot here of things happening. Engine start. There goes the rotation. And 12, 15%. That goes to idle. There we go. Throttles are now on idle. GTS should go black soon. Rotation indicator should also go black soon. Fire caption will be out. We don't want any fires. RPM should be then 50% or greater. And then all of these should go out. Flight controls will be free and correct. There we go. That's gone out, that's gone out, that's gone out. Hydraulics are coming on. Anti-skid is, of course, off. Things are looking good. Right, with the hydraulic 2 out, am I going to get to show you the rat? Well, I am going to show you the rat. If I just move this a few times, I'm trying to force the hydraulics to drop, the hydraulic pressure. This is also a check of, I suppose, if it's free and correct. Don't mind me doing this. Come on. I think this is how they check it on the ground, just by constantly moving this. Let's go back inside and see what's going on. Ah, it's not showing anything on there. Well, that's stupid. Let's press reset and then... Yep, then you'll see this move. So... Come on. There it goes. Now you can see that dropping. That's gone down, and that should, in theory, give us the rats. There it is. That's what I was after. That's what I wanted to show you. There's the ram air turbine. So you saw that come up and go down automatically with the actual movements and the hydraulic pressure dropping. So let's reset that. Perfect. Okay, so we are good there. Everything should be off except for the skid, which is correct. Right, after start checklist, trims are set to neutral. Air brake test. How do I air brake? That's a good question. Don't know how to use the air brakes. See that out? That is air brake, so doesn't really show me anything. Is that the air brake out? No. Oh, that's quite nice. That must be toasty in there. No idea about air brake test. We're going to ignore the air brake test for now. Just put that back to in. There we go. Right. Pitot heat switch is on. Flap selectors. Now down to mid. Okay, that's about 25 degrees of flaps. That was quick. Hydraulic gauges, check pressures, done. Test and set altimeters. Let's set our altimeter to 1014. I think it should be 1014. No, it is 1014, I think. Warning flags, all clear. Check. Attitude indicators are erect. Yes, they are. Compass, synchronize. So we are at 3, 2, was 319? 319, and that is marked as slightly off actually. How do I synchronize these? Wait, how do I synchronize these compasses? No idea. I thought you used to be able to do that, but okay, fine. I mean, they're close to a degree, so it should be fine. Everything else is absolutely fine. Taxiing spelt incorrectly. Taxiing, T-A-X-I-I-N-G. Sounds like captain. Taxi area clear. I know you're there. Parking brake release. Brakes test on moving off. I'm just going to release those, and that seems fine. I just need to get this person out of the way because I have no idea why exactly they are here, but they are. So fine. So the idea today, what we're going to be doing, if I just bring up Navigraph. So we are RAF Cottesmore. I will probably be doing a few pauses. Why can I not see my aircraft? There it is. There we are, RAF Cottesmore, right there. I will be doing a few pauses to take some screenshots. I do not believe that Tac Cam channels work. I can try. Let's try and get Wittering up. 1176. I wonder. 117. 1176 should be channel 123X. Let's try it. 123X. That's worked. How did you... And then that will be ILS mode, and then, or ILS VOR. That Tac Cam channel actually worked. That's impressive. I'm not going to worry about these today. Okay, so in that case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to fly around. So we'll fly a little bit around this area, and then what I would like to do is I would like to be on a... Let me think. That's a bit slow. Let's go for 180 heading to Wittering. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll fly around, then get ourselves on a 180 to Wittering. And then from there, I would like to... Let's see, where could we fly? Then after that, we'll try and go Bovingdon, 11375. So we'll fly direct Bovingdon. So I'll tune that in, ready to go now as well. Come on, there it goes. 11375. Perfect. And then from there, we'll probably fly over London at a lower altitude, and then perhaps we'll land at London Heathrow or something along those lines. I think 1156 is something I'd like to do as well. Do I can tune them in here, but I'm not sure how these would work. See, I'm not entirely sure what would happen if I did that, for example. That makes that... I think that puts it up here as well somewhere. No, it doesn't. I'm still trying to work this out, but see, I'm not sure how that would then relate to any of these instruments. Apparently that's now moved. I'm not even going to ask how. Channel 123X. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Should we give this a go? Let's give this a go. Anti-skid needs to go on. Recall. Nope, we are good to go. Let's do we have our parking brake set? No, it's released. Don't have any chocks or anything. Why are we not moving? I would like to move now, please. There it is. Goodbye, person. So this version currently that I am on is version 1.1.4 of this particular aircraft. The version that I showed you in the first part was 1.1.2 or 1.12, something like that. The reason being is that Sim Update 7 made a hash of a few things, as Sim Updates always do. Partly I would say Microsoft really need to give developers forewarning on this, but partly I can understand the need for doing some updates. So we shall start with some low-level flying. We'll fly around a little. We will get a feel for the aircraft. I'll fly around the Rutland area, which is where Cottesmore is. That's why I like taking off from here, because there's a lovely lake or reservoir, man-made reservoir, right off the nose of this. I suppose nose of the airport. Yeah, right off the. Which side would it be? Off the port side, I think. You'd get the reservoir. In fact, I'm not. Wait, I'm not entirely sure. Hang on a moment. Which side will you be? That's London, from where we are. Yeah, because you take off, and yeah, it's on the left. So it's just south of the airfield runway. So we'll fly around this area a little. It's what I did in X-Plane as well. And then, as I said, I'm going to check out this Tac Cam, see where that goes, and then work from there. See what we can do. Whoa. Okay. Brakes are really sharp. Obviously, if you want to do this properly, you really need more than just a button for the brakes. The landing lights can go on. I think top light can probably go to red. Sorry, to white. All those lights there. We are lit up and ready to go. That is reset. Should we look at the before takeoff checklist? Let's take a look at the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff, trim set neutral. Pitot heat switch is on. Anti-skid is on. Fuel gauge, check contents, we are fine. Flap selector mid, landing lights is on. Anti-collision lights are white. What, top and bottom? Alright, fine. CWP captions are all off. Takeoff briefing complete. Runway checks. IFF SSR is required. Check. Lights as required. Altimeters check. Mass, we don't need any of that. RPM maximum is 104%. Maximum 665. That's supposed to be a temperature. So we're looking for 665 here. So we'll try 650 and 104%. Brakes holding. Okay, and then after takeoff, I think our takeoff speeds, this is where I need to just do a check. So the takeoff speeds for this aircraft today, we're probably looking at about 120 knots. We should be able to do that. And then we should be able to lift up the gear, lift up the flaps before 200 knots, and then we'll fly around a little before accelerating to 300 and making our way down. Right, that checklist can go. Let's sit in that kind of form. Or not. So annoying. That looks acceptable. I can see everything in front of me, which is absolutely fine. I cannot press things, which is really annoying. Yep. Sim Update 7's done something. Ready to go. Here we go. "90 knots. 120. Nice and smooth. Positive rate. Gear in. Flaps up. Throttle back. Okay, wasn't terrible. Should we have a quick should do a quick active pause here. Get the right focus as well. Right, and let's slow it right the way down. We're at about 400 knots already. Let's hit a nice gentle turn. We'll start looking at stopping the climb. We're about 2,000 feet or so. Gentle turn, couple of G's. There's the water, there's Rutland Water right there. I must say it's not easy to keep the it is not easy to keep the flight of this stable in terms of altitude. The altitude is difficult to keep. I think when you're turning the aircraft, maybe a bit of trim's required just to figure out a little bit on the speed. And of course, because we're going at a specific speed. So let's slow ourselves down to about 250. Let's do that. That doesn't look too bad. Let's try another shot from outside. Apologies for the noise once again. I will try and normalise this if I remember. Oh, that's not too bad because it's not too noisy anymore. That actually doesn't look too bad either. Maybe something like that. As I said, I'm not going to waste too much time on this. And take. Okay, back in we go. I might take one landing or something. Let's continue flying. Alright. Okay, somehow we lost a lot of speed there. That was weird. In that we've... Okay, I think there's some errors that have come back in Microsoft Flight Simulator about the flying. Right. Anyway. Bring Navigraph back up. Let's have a look at our charts. Let's see if we can get ourselves towards Wittering. So I know we're heading in the wrong direction at the moment. We're going to do a bit of a climb. And it's climbing at a really good rate. It's really nice to fly. The climb out is smooth. Nothing's too juddery. I could probably trim it for this climb out. Yep, that's perfectly trimmed for that climb out and that speed. And I'm just climbing. That's really nice. Let's see if I can turn this. Obviously when you turn you just need to give it a little bit more power, although we're okay with the 200 knots. So we're doing a 200 knot climb out. You can bring this up to about 300 knots I suppose for cruise, but 200 knots on the climb out is pretty good. I just want to see if this Tac Cam works. That is a Tac Cam, right? I'm fairly sure Wittering's a Tac Cam. Now give me the Tac Cam. It is a Tac Cam. There we go. I knew my signs were not... I wasn't getting my signs wrong. So I want to see if that works. Right, let's ease off on the power. $7,000 feet. So we'll cross 10,000 feet, I think. It's moving. We have working tack hands. Okay, that's impressive. I didn't know we had working tack hands. And we're banking perfectly south, like so. Right, Bovingdon. How should we like to go towards Bovingdon? Let's get ourselves 10,000 feet. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll start trimming to bring that nose down a little. There we go. Right, where's Bovingdon? Bovingdon is down here somewhere in this mess. There it is. 11375. I'm just going to highlight it so we know where we are. It's almost directly south, but what I'd like to do is I would like to move over to a point where we can come in to Bovingdon on a, let's see, not directly south. Let's go for a 200 radial. Alright, let's go to set that. Alright, we are still climbing. I need to watch that. So far, very impressed with this flight. Everything is really smooth, really easy to fly. We're at a good speed here. Everything seems to be working as it's supposed to. I swapped that to ILS. That did that straight, put in Bovingdon. I'm still not 100% certain how this works, but that's okay. So I will be coming in. Wait a minute, I'm going 210 right now. It's not a 210 radial I'm after, is it? What radial is that? Right, okay, got it. Probably a 160, and we are looking at that with our speed and our altitude. Altitude, speed, all really nice. My RPM is about 90%. We are losing fuel, but if I really wanted to, I can just trim that down ever so slightly. Ease off on the throttles. Try and bring that down to... Wait a minute, is that correct? I should be turning the course, not my heading. I'm quite silly. That was actually really, really stupid of me. The course I should be looking for. Did I actually do that? And it just happened to be the right heading that I had for Wittering. That's ridiculous if that's the case. What was the heading I wanted? Let's find out. We're close to a 180 right now. Let's see what see where we are here. Just going to descend a little bit. Let's go for a 200. It does all work. We're 39 miles away. Next up, as I said, will be Lambourne, which I've already got. That will do. Right, let's trim out. The trim is very sensitive, so you do have to be quite careful on that trim. It is very, very sensitive. Right, you will be turning in. No, that's not what I'm doing. Let's go for a 160. That's what I wanted. Yeah, descent's okay. Just pitch up the nose ever so slightly. Alright. And let's do a very gentle turn to 160. Also, maybe just take one more photo. Right, if I remember to do this correctly, I have skipped that entire photo process. Right, nice gentle turn into 160. And it shows we are 33 miles away from Bovington. And closing. There we go. Let's see what course we're actually on. 165, 164, 163, 162. 161, it's not too bad. 250 knots, 80% RPM. I think we're doing okay. Not sure what's happened with the graphics just there. This bit looks like just edges through the clouds perhaps. That's fine. To be honest, sometimes when you have bugs like that, that doesn't really bother me. So, flying this aircraft, what's it like to fly? Well, it works fantastically. It really, really does work incredibly well. I am very impressed with it. Let's speed up a little. So, this is going to be a fairly long video, but that's okay. Speed up just a little. We've got the fuel to spare, so it's okay. There we go. 300 knots. Climbing. Let's push it a little actually. Let me show you what it's like when you really push this aircraft. How fast can it go? So that's now to the firewall. Yeah, that's to the firewall now. So we just need to keep an eye on. We need to keep an eye on our speed. We need to keep an eye on our vertical speed as well as our actual combined speed, which we're looking at almost Mach 0.8. Watch our exhaust gas temperature, which is coming up to 650 degrees Celsius. Our RPM is 100. You can hear the rumbling. You can just hear that. That's getting a little hot. That's getting quite hot. That's 700 degrees. Still maxing it out. 500 knots. I think that's about all we're going to get. That's Mach 0.92. If we're going to a dive, we'll probably get a little bit more out of it. Do you see what happens if we just go into a slight dive? What kind of speed do we get? Yeah, we will get a little bit more. Not a lot though. Right, let's ease off. Let's really ease off on that now. There we go. Wasn't watching our course either. We are now, what? Heading 130. That's fine. Let's ease ourselves up. We've descended to 8,000 feet, or almost 9,000 feet, which is fine. It's difficult. One thing that I will point out, it's difficult at this speed to actually control the vertical speed of the aircraft, which makes sense because it's reaching it's very close to the flight envelope. So because we're close to the flight envelope, you're having difficulty flying the aircraft. But we are 4 miles from Bovington. Bit of a stutter. Things look okay. Should we change the weather? Let's change the weather up a little. That's probably a silly thing to do, but clear skies. Scattered clouds. And let's go back to clear skies. There we go. If I did live weather, we'd be in trouble. Right, we are now slowing down. Thank goodness. Right. Yeah, live weather would cause us a problem because at the moment it'd be probably raining or snowing and extremely windy. Right, so there's Heathrow, I believe. I believe that's Heathrow. Yes, that definitely looks like Heathrow, because there's the King George Reservoir and all of them. So there's the Thames. So what we're now going to do is, let's see if we slow down and fly direct Lambourne. See, I don't know how to use this exactly, but if we fly direct Lambourne, which is 1156. 11. Oh dear. This is a little bit. This is something that needs to be worked on a little. 115.6. And yes, I know I was diving the entire time. I was aware. And let's go for a 090 into Lambourne. So we should be close to it anyway. There we go. And then we'll fly in over London. Right, it looks like we are okay there. We have dropped to 6,000 feet, which is what I was after. We slow ourselves down to 250 knots, nice and gently. And let's see if we can hold this. And from here, we are going to, the next one we're going to get is going to be, let's land this at Heathrow because I know the runways well. Heathrow Airport, oh dear, Echo Golf Lima Lima, give me a runway, watch the nose dipping, just give me a runway. Oh, you're not going to give me the information I want? Give me there we go. That's better. Approach, runway, let's go, not 9. We're going to go to 7. 109.5 will do. I didn't know whether it was 109.5 or 109.75. Right, at 200 knots, this aircraft is not flying in its ideal way. Right, what we're going to do is once we go over these reservoirs here, we'll turn in over the Lee Valley. So I'm now going to go 10. Right, this is horrible. 109. 109.5. There we go. And we'll start looking to turn in over the Lee Valley. Course is going to be 269er. So we'll just keep turning that in as we fly. 200 knots, we're looking okay. A little bit more on the throttle. Oh, come on, 10. I know this area fairly well. There it is, 269er. 200 knots, we are doing quite well here. Now, we have special permission to descend 2,000 feet. So I'm going to go full idle, bring the aircraft into a descent. Now descending this aircraft is really easy, pointing the nose forward. Reminds me, it's really strange because I know this is a BAE Hawk. And it just reminds me of the BAE, the other aircraft, the 146, because it's the same concept. You just tilt the nose down, and it's very obvious what you're doing. If I just go to the external camera, you might notice, you can sort of see quite obviously you're tilting the nose. And it's, oh, that's interesting. Also, I kind of really want another screenshot. I am going to obviously cut this part out. Now, one thing this does show is that I do need to take a look at photogrammetry in Microsoft Flight Simulator once again and just see if it looks any better. Right, here we go. Smoke controls. Why can I not press the smoke controls? Oh, whoa, the lag. Smoke controls on. There is so much lag right now. Yep, Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't know what you've done, but you've really made a hash of whatever. Whatever you were doing. Right, Buckingham Palace should be Regent's Park, Hyde Park, St James Park. There's Buckingham Palace, I see it. Let's see if I can get this right. Single aircraft, can I get all red, white and blue in this picture? I can press all 3. 2,000 feet, can I descend 1,000? And can I make this look good? Is the big question. Here we come. Right. Let's line this up. Down the Mall. red, white, blue, and again I'm gonna see what happens. Okay, so I know that that was not the greatest, so what I'm going to do, what's up with that car down there? And if anybody just noticed that van completely and utterly stuck, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back around. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's stalling slightly. Okay, so there is the option or the chance for this to stall, which is annoying. I'm going to go back around and try this one more time. Hopefully the colours have disappeared. They have. So one more attempt at this, keeping it nice and slow speed. Might need to drop the flaps actually. It might be a good idea to drop the flaps so I can get a nice slow speed approach. I'm not sure they do it with flaps though, when they do it, and I'm fairly sure they're probably doing about 200 knots as they do it. And I know that this has gone on for a while, but once we're done, once we're through, that's it. It's Paul's Cathedral. I do not remember those buildings around there. It's just a shame the photogrammetry never works properly for me. If it did, I think that this would look superb. And then we go in for a landing. Right. Once again, lining up. Where is it? Come on, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Look out for Constitution Hill. There it is. And the Mall. Right. New idea. This is kind of difficult to fly like this, but fine. Let's go. Okay, here we go, one more time. Okay, that's it. I think we are good. So what we now need to do is line up for Heathrow. So let's get ourselves climbing up to 2,000 feet to establish ourselves properly on the localizer. And then we shall bring it in and end this video. So what do I think? Well, first of all, I believe that we've got a problem with Flight Simulators, whatever it is, the Sim Update 7. On my PC it's just not having it. This was far better with the other one. Let's bring the flaps down slightly. There you go. It was far better with the previous update, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but certainly that's causing some sort of issue. The other thing is that some of the click spots have gone a bit wonky since that last update as well. Again, I do not think this is the fault of Just Flight. It was working fine before, not perfect, but pretty good before, and now we are clearly running into some sort of issue. So that's something that needs to be looked at. We're looking at airspeed 150 knots is going to be our descent, it seems. So let's accelerate up a little. Let's bring the flaps out to full. Bring that there, and let's go ahead and drop the landing gear to bring us in for a landing. Landing speed is 130, but our approach speed is going to be slightly faster than that. At the moment you can hear the power coming in because I am holding the speed. I'm holding the altitude whilst we establish ourselves on the glide slope, which I think we now are. Well, slightly below the glide actually. So we've got our glide slope indicator right here, or above the glide should I say. And we've got our localizer here, so just watch out for that and that. So we are slightly over to the right, so let's move over to the left. Nose down to get ourselves back onto the glide, which we are now coming up on nicely. There we go, I can see the two lights. And we shall bring ourselves in for a landing. Overall, this aircraft is amazingly good. It really is. It's a fantastically made aircraft. Top quality, top marks on how it's been made. It's really just excellent. Really is excellent. So I don't think there's much else I can say apart from the fact that yes, it's an excellent aircraft. There are some, as I said, there are some problems that we're facing, not due to the aircraft itself, but due to Microsoft Flight Simulator, it seems. But it does take a little while to get used to the aircraft. That's one thing I have to point out. So, for example, I'm struggling a little with bringing this aircraft down and just understanding the speeds I can fly this aircraft at, which at the moment we're fairly close to stalling speed. So I need to really be careful at these lower speeds. So it does struggle a little at the really low speeds, and it struggles a little at the really high speeds. So at the high speeds it's difficult to maneuver the aircraft, which makes perfect sense. And at low speeds it's difficult to keep the aircraft airborne, which again makes perfect sense. This aircraft is very much designed for mid-speed flying. It's a jet fighter. It's a trainer aircraft. But let's see what it's like to bring in for a landing then. Right. Idle. Oops, slight bounce. There we go. Okay. Not too bad actually. It's quite an easy aircraft to bring down for a landing. I was expecting a little bit more difficulty with it, but that was not too bad at all. Right, I'll bring the flaps all the way in. Flaps are all the way in. That was impressive actually. What I would say is that because the aircraft's a lot lower to the ground, it seems like, and it's a lot smaller, it seems like the ground is approaching very quickly, where it isn't. You just have to be a little bit more aware of that, and that's about it. Disappointments on this aircraft in terms of what Just Flight have done, absolutely none. There were a few little errors, texture errors and things like that earlier on. They were all fixed, so nothing there to really be worrying about. Any disappointments, it seems to be Microsoft Flight Simulator related, not anything else. Because as I said in the previous Sim Update 6, this was working a lot better. It was less juddery. Movement was a lot better as well. I mean, now that we're on the ground, it seems like the movement's okay. So I'm not sure what was going on whilst in the air, and certainly the click spots. Perhaps maybe Just Flight need to go ahead and look at the click spots once again, because I mean, not being able to click that whilst it's there, and some of these buttons, it's a little bit interesting that I cannot do that, but realistically nothing that I really need to worry about. I have no idea where I'm going, by the way. I really have no idea where I'm going. I'm going to cross the runway once again whilst I'm talking about this. Do I recommend this aircraft? Hold. Do I recommend this aircraft? Yes. Yes, I do. I very much recommend this aircraft. Anybody who wants jets and is playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, this is an aircraft worth purchasing. It really is. I think that Just Flight have done such an amazing job with this. I always thought the Hawk for X-Plane was really good. this is like another step above. And anything that I find, any problems I'm finding with the aircraft seem to be simulator related, not aircraft related or the model related. The physics on the aircraft are great. The envelope, we checked the envelope through its entire range today, so we took it right up to 500 knots, near the speed of sound, trying to fly it at that speed, see what it's like. You couldn't control the altitude so well, the vertical speed was all over the place. It was difficult to fly the aircraft, as you would expect, at the limit, where you're reaching what we call Coffin Corner. So there's an area called Coffin Corner, and when you get to that area, flying at that point in time, it's the reason it's called Coffin Corner is it's very easy to lose control of your aircraft, and that's it. We were flying near that, and you could feel it happening. Similarly, we were flying, so that was the top of the envelope. We were also flying right at the bottom of the envelope, where we were flying at low speed, right near the stall speeds, trying to maneuver the aircraft, and you felt that as well. You felt the sluggishness in maneuvering at those speeds, and you felt the refusal of the aircraft to cooperate, or should I say, you could feel the fact that the aircraft was struggling to move the air, that the forces of the air were so great at those high speeds, the pressure and everything was so great that the aircraft was having difficulty once again maneuvering or holding its speed or holding its altitude or attitude. And you felt all of that. That is exactly how an aircraft should feel. That is exactly what these trainers are made for, and Just Flights have replicated that brilliantly. They really have replicated that brilliantly. So I massively recommend this aircraft, and I think loads of other people already have, but a massive thank you to Just Flights for giving me this aircraft to test out. A massive thank you to you for watching, if you've been watching all the way through, and in fact if you've just skipped to this part, also a massive thank you to you. And yeah, I would say purchase this aircraft. The link to the Just Flight website is in the description box below. This aircraft does cost, I think it's £35.99. Don't quote me exactly on that, I've not checked it in a few weeks, but it's in the first part of the video if you want to know the exact price, and it's well worth it. It really is well worth it. So I think this, coupled with, so we have one jet. I'd like an American jet, perhaps an F-14 Tomcat, that would be really nice. A jet fighter, that is. I'd like an old Spitfire, Lancaster bomber, Arrow Vulcan. Those aircraft I'd certainly like. Concorde, a 737, 747, perhaps an A350, and I think, and obviously on the other side I want an Arrow, which I've already got, a couple of light aircraft. I think the Arrow's a really nice one, Beechcraft Baron or something like that, maybe a King Air. That would be a full roster of aircraft. If I could get all of them at this level or higher, I'd certainly like some things higher than this level. This is not quite study level, very high, but not quite at the study level. I think it's just below that full study level where you've got a massive manual, but it's still, I'd say maybe low end study level as opposed to high end study level. If I could get all those aircraft that I just mentioned at study level, that would be all I would need from a flight simulator personally. X-Plane's got the Zebo, we've got the Hawk, Just Flight do an Arrow, that's fine. They did a Beechcraft Duchess 76, a little bit underpowered, also an amazing aircraft though to fly. So these aircraft are coming up, and I cannot wait to fly them, to review them. Microsoft needs to sort out their bugs in this sim. If they can sort that out without introducing a dozen other ones, we are in for a real treat over the next few years. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Microsoft Flight Simulator, leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. I am going to fly this aircraft again at some point soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks. The reason being is I want to take it out to the Mach Loop and try and fly around the Mach Loop in Wales and see what it is like to fly there, just like I did with in X-Plane. So make sure you do subscribe to see that video. Leave a comment in the comments box below with your thoughts and opinions. Hopefully this video wasn't too rambly. I was trying my best to cover as much as I could and really get a good feel for this aircraft. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ecgadgets. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetslp for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I'll see you next time in Microsoft Flight Simulator, where I think the next video will be me, hopefully, me flying this through Wales, putting it through its paces and trying really hard not to crash, because as I said, this aircraft is different to fly than the one in X-Plane, just because there seems to be so much more realism to what I thought was already incredibly realistic. I'll see you next time.